Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to our next video, a much shorter one this time. I just wanted to show what we have achieved over the last 2 or 3 days. It's very interesting and very challenging. So the goal was to have a conversation with Homeassistant and make Homeassistant talk back. I mean, not talk back, but answer in full sentences. And let's have a bit of a discussion with Homeassistant about various interesting topics. And I don't know how many of you have tried it, but I can tell you there are some obstacles in the way. So I have provided everything here so that we can just go on to where we started, where we stopped last time. So Olama is already fully loaded up, and I have fired up our little boss game. So I didn't show you last time what the actual hardware is, where our artificial intelligence model is running on. So we are running on a Intel i7 Ultra 155H, and it has 16 cores and a maximum of 22 threads, and it is basically a laptop without a screen. So it is a mobile processor, and it has a graphics card included, which has also capabilities of running AI, but this is not utilized at the moment. But for those of you who are interested, there is a program, I think it is called Intel Playground, AI Playground it is called, and that is given by Intel for free, and that gives you a testing space where you can see what the Intel graphics is capable of in AI. But we are only utilizing the CPU at the moment for our Llama model, and as you can see, no, as you can't at the moment, but we can show that it is, Llama is running, up and running, and we have also started the command processor to run the Homeassistant integration. So what are the biggest or the most severe obstacles on the way to having Homeassistant and AI running alongside each other? So one of the most severe restrictions is that speech is only running in SSL modus for Homeassistant. So if you want to have the microphone blue and not red, then you have to run Home Assistant in SSL mode. That means you have to have a certificate to run SSL mode, and you can't have that without getting or without installing some kind of web server on your computer, or without buying a domain where you can actually achieve the certification process. Both of it runs contrary to our goal that we wanted to have a way of running the assistant, the artificial, the AI and Home Assistant without any interference from outside the net, the home, and we don't want to be relying on any kind of certification process which can be disrupted. I was never a friend of all those certification you get for free, which you have to basically renew every 90 days. So usually I do my certifications via domains, but still that includes having those certificates renewed or actualized or whatever when they run out, and usually you get them for a year or two. And the free internet certificates are basically it always reminds me about the petrol lamps in China, when Standard Oil gave petrol lamps for free to the Chinese so that they buy their petrol. This whole thing with the free certificates is basically a point where you surrender to somebody who you have absolutely no influence over, and who can cut you off, can cut your contact to the internet off at any time, whenever it pleases them. They just have to invalidate their own certificates, and then you're shut off and you can't do anything about it. And if you have programmed or set up your whole system that it only accepts SSL and HTTPS, then you have nothing without any certificate. So we found, after a long period of head scratching, we found a different way. The last loophole they haven't closed yet. I'm pretty sure they will. I couldn't find the same opportunity in Firefox anymore. I think Firefox, I know there is still some kind of way to achieve this, but I couldn't figure it out, and I wasn't inclined enough to do it after I found a way to do it for Edge and for Amazon's own, Google's own browser. So what you do is you alter the insecure origins treated as secure section within the secure flags of Edge or Google's own browser, and then you are basically putting in the exemptions we could manually, for those of us who are doing the internet longer than 5 months. No, a few years it is now. But before HTTPS was standard, then during the takeover period there was always this: do you still want to watch or join the site even though it isn't secure? But now they have taken that away from the front page, and it's buried in the search flags, in the secure flags, and it's called insecure oranges treated as secure. And there you just give type in the HTTP addresses you consider secure, and then you will be able to use the microphone if it is in one of, if your Home Assistant page is in one of those HTTP pages which are treated as secure. So that opens the possibility for you to use the microphone on an insecure, on a not certified, on a not certified page. Another huge problem is that the Olama, the integration of Olama, only works with network bridges. You can't use a single network controller to work with Olama. You need a virtualized bridge. Olama will not connect. So if you have Olama and it will not connect to a website that runs on a single adapter. So you need to have a bridge which is the front end for Olama. To achieve this, I'm not making a. First of all, you can look it up. There are about 2 million pages on the internet where you can see it, but we can make it very short. So to bridge it, there used to be. I don't need it because that was the wrong one. I don't need it because the boss game has two NICs, two network connectors anyways, so I can just use the two network connectors. But that is what you need. So you need to have a network bridge, and you achieve that by for those who don't have two NICs, there used to be a loopback device Microsoft offered for network testing. So you have to install this loopback device, this fictitious network card under where is it? Change. Yep, here we are. Yep. So here we are, and then you have to basically install the loopback device so that you have a second adapter, or you have to take your wireless LAN and your Ethernet connection, and then you have to take those two connectors you have, so this one and that one, or this and your Wi-Fi, and you use the control key to bind them together, and then the option appears to have them bridged. So the moment you combine two of them, then you have there will be a field appearing which asks you if you want to bridge those two. And then you can go further and can then apply your after the bridge is established, you will lose your internet connection for a moment, and then if you have done it all right, then you will get it back after the internet after the new protocol has started. But then in the next step is you give your bridge a static IP address so that you can bind Ollama to that web page, to that the web page. Yeah, web page is good. To that internet, to that IP address. But there are a lot of how-tos in the internet how you can do it. But there aren't many which say that the bridge is the necessity you have to meet to get Ollama bound to the IP address in the first place. So if you try with only the adapter, Ollama will just not work. It will just not bind. So those were the two biggest obstacles in the way to achieving what we want to achieve. So I have what I wanted to show is, so that is our CPU running only with OBS, only with doing the screen grabbing for the YouTube video. So that is basically not very much. It's not very challenging for the CPU. And now we will make it a little bit more interesting. We will, so that you can see that we are not cheating. I have set up some cameras, and now I will take my I can take the Homeassistant. I don't even need my phone. I have already turned off Mrs. Bezos here in our little studio, and we are running on Homeassistant here so that we don't have two different voice assistants running. So I will first of all turn the lights off manually so that you can see me sitting in the dark. Let's see what's on. Oh yeah, that's the wrong one. I think that needs to be addressed. Yeah, so now we have the opportunity to turn the right one off after I have installed it. I just didn't realize that we still had the wrong light on. So that is all the lights we have at the moment, and here we can just turn it off manually. Yep, and now we are sitting in total darkness. Nothing is going on apart from the TV, from the main screen. And now we will ask Now we will ask Home Assistant, turn on kitchen.
Turned on the light.
And miraculously, the light turned on. And turn on the main.
Turned on the light.
It happened. We are really impressed. What is the weather?
4.5 degrees C and cloudy.
What is the time?
11:48 p.m.
What is the date?
February 11th, 2025.
When did the Second World War end? Takes a bit of time for him. It's a long period to cover. Yeah, that is obviously a bit of a problem when you have a program running which is so specialized as Home Assistant is, that it needs quite a while to get through all the appliances before it even can think about what kind of information it needs to answer your question. So first of all, it tries to find out if your question relates to any of the installed household appliances, and then after that it starts to answer, to look for other avenues, and then eventually answer your question, which can, as you can see, take quite a while. And I've also programmed an injunction that when the question is obviously completely bonkers, that then he just terminates the search process and doesn't go any further, because there is no perceivable avenue for the program to come to a conclusion. So if that would be the case, we would already have the termination here, so that it isn't terminated yet gives me some optimism that there will be an answer about the, I think it was the 8th of May that the Germans capitulated, and it was in late September, I think, that the Japanese capitulated. So it must have been April and September 1945, I think. But we will find out very soon. But you see, that is a bit of a patience, young Padawan. Don't be hasty. We will find out. Yeah, it is much longer than the last time I tried. Let's see how no, that's the wrong one. How stressed out our model is. CPU at 67-68%, so it's still not too bad. That is around about the 60 watt. That 60 watt of power is drawing now. So we're really paying for the answer? Oh, let's
The
see.
Second World War ended on September 2, 1945, with Japan's formal surrender following the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki and the Soviet invasion of Manchuria. However, it's important to note that different countries had their own VJ victory over Japan or VE victory in Europe Day dates earlier in the year as they surrendered to the Allies. For most nations, though, September 2nd marks the official end date.
That is obviously something the Russians would not agree with, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So, what we see is we can have a conversation. So, we could pursue that avenue. And is there anything more interesting? Who signed the capitulations for the Japanese and for the Germans? Let's see if it takes us another 15 minutes to get the information for that. I think it was Keitel for the Germans, but I don't know. Was it the Emperor himself? No, the Emperor is godlike. He probably would not sign the capitulation. Probably somebody who fell into a sword right after that. Yeah, but you can see, so it works. I think it is not optimal at the moment, but nobody expects that to happen. So it is a lot more than Amazon's basic product can offer, because all that product does is scour the web and then give you some answers. It scours from the web, but these answers here, you will have them even without any internet access. So this assistant is available for you 24/7 without any internet. It's running solely on your home network. So whatever you have connected, if you have everything on one machine, then you can just disconnect your computer from the network and have a fully fledged island solution for your whole home and for your artificial intelligence. So that is something which is, yeah, pretty. Here we are.
The capitulation documents for Japan and Germany during World War II were signed by different high-ranking officials. Japan *** Japanese signatories : The instrument of surrender was signed on September 2, 1945, aboard the USS Missouri in Tokyo Bay. General Yoshijiro Umezu, Chief of the Imperial Japanese Army General Staff, signed for Japan. Allied signatories : among those signing for the Allies were Lieutenant General Jonathan Wainwright representing the Philippines, Admiral Chester Nimitz representing the United States, and others. Germany ** German signatories : The instrument of surrender was initially signed at Reims, France, on May 7, 1945. General Alfred Jodl, Chief of Staff of the OKW Oberkommando der Wehrmacht or Supreme Command of the Armed Forces, and Admiral Friedberg signed for Germany. Additional German signatory : a second surrender document was signed in Berlin on May 8, 1945. Field Marshal Wilhelm Keitel signed this document. These signings marked the official surrenders of Japan and Germany to the Allied forces, effectively ending World War II in both Asia/Pacific and Europe.
Good, so I wasn't that far off. Keitel signed only the one in Berlin. Good, so that is how it works, and you can see. Let's see. Turn off kitchen.
Turned off the light.
Ah. Yeah, I couldn't resist that one. That's just so funny. That is my kitchen alarm. And now it's turned on the night vision. So, yeah, what else? If you what you see here is just the start. This is whatever happens when you have managed to install the basics, and when then you're ready to install the 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 fine comb. What we have now is we have a lot of entities. We have some basic rooms. We have the camera installed. We have the phone connected, and we have the music connected. That's why you have all those entertainment devices now here. We have the Sonos speaker connected, and now you basically now starts the hard work of writing all the files and scripts. There are a lot of Reddit pages from people who have done a lot of the work already, and you can just scour that and paste and copy and alter it to your own needs. And then you have the the Homeassistant shop, where you can get integrations and help us. And so you will over time have a board that looks a bit like that, where you have all your devices and all your entities classified. So we have a list of entities now that's longer than an elephant's tail. Can't find the scrolling down. Okay, it doesn't matter. So you see, it is quite a comprehensive list now, and that is because the phone alone is 100 entities. So you only get what the NSA is capable of when you see how many sensors your freaking phone has, and how many ways of information collecting those people have when you see what is in your phone. And each and every one of those tiny electronic buttons here, so that is basically my phone here, that is 108 electronic buttons. Each of them is you can control each of them singly, and that means whoever is capable of controlling my phone via whatever means is capable of using any of those sensors remotely. So basically, they don't only have a, a picture, all my conversations. They also have all the phones which are in my vicinity, all the IMEs and everything from everybody who is in my vicinity at a given time. They have the room temperature. They have my heartbeat. It is just amazing how many informations those phones collect, and how somebody who has the capability of surveying it, how much information they can collect. And if they do that over years, you can imagine, like Snowden told us, how many information and how detailed the profiles are that they are able to construct. That is that is sheer. That is unbelievable. So, what my takeaway from Home Assistant and from my decoupling from the internet is obviously that I will, in the next step, uh, probably sacrifice some of the features I use and revert to a less sophisticated phone with far less sensors and far less information. This is, I mean, I'm not I am not threatened. I'm not important that anybody would actually go to any length to try to do that to me, but I don't know what happens, and I don't know how the world evolves, and at the moment I'm not very optimistic that it evolves in a very good fashion. So I think to actually think about what kind of information, I mean, what is clear is any information that is out there will stay out there. So it's the opposite what happens in Vegas. What happens within those data cemeteries of data which is grabbed up now and collected just for the sake of the collection, it will stay there. Nobody will ever delete those data again. So, yeah, it's probably worth a shot to think about, do I actually need the 400-pound phone or the 500 or 600-pound phone, which collects an enormous amount of data, what for which I don't even know who is collecting them or who is storing them and what of it is stored? Or do I actually need a 20-pound phone which is capable of dialing a number and connecting me to whoever I want to talk to, and which is maybe capable of storing a few contacts and playing some music in the time I don't want to use it as a phone. So, yeah, that is, after seeing what all those sensors are doing and how many of them are in. So, what I've connected so far is one phone and one tablet, and that is more than 200 information points out of this phone and this tablet. So, yeah, that was really something. I'm really grateful for Home Assistant to show me that how many points of interest there are and how detailed the picture somebody who is capable of surveying these electronic devices, how detailed the picture is that they have. I mean, that goes far beyond uh, just conversations. It is that there's a lot more. They basically they have your physical reactions to shocks. They if there is a bang, they can see how your heart rate reacts to it, and that is incredible. So they have a pretty good prediction of how you will react under stress or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, but that is my personal paranoia, but it it is not made easier. So what the first step when you have connected your database is that you start programming your Olama prompt. So that is basically how you set up the the intelligent the intelligence model to make it play the role you want it to play. So that is if we would imagine our AI model would be the Doctor Who, then you would be the director who tells Doctor Who how you want him to act and react, and then you write the access to the scripts you have basically written for each and every device, which there are some devices are detected very detailed, and because they are very common, and other devices are detected only very rudimentary because they are not very common, and then you have to expand the scripts for the single devices. I will do this in detail, but at the moment I don't have enough examples to where I can securely show it without putting information into the open, which I basically deem too personal. I'm already giving up a lot of personal information, which is usually not my favorite pastime. But for the sake of it, for the sake of the model, and for the sake of, I think the information is really worth putting it out. How you can replace your corporate controlled assistant through a personal assistant which you basically own, and that is not under a third party control. And I don't think it will last forever. We will surely have a backslash once more people have started to turn their connection to the internet off. It will without doubt become harder to set something like that up. So I'm collecting all the models at the moment because I don't expect them to be freely available for a very long time. But that is about it. So that is how far you can go with a basic setup. The it will, yeah, it is not like the setup you have. It's not the quality you have that you're used to from Mr. Bezos' ex-wife. But yeah, it works. So if you have a system like that ready for the event that your internet connection doesn't work, then you are still able to turn your lights on and off, and you are still able to have some kind of entertainment even though you are not connected to the internet. Turn off ground floor. Let's see. There's no. I think there is no. That's so. The test is what will happen to, if I ask for something which isn't there. So there's no such thing as a ground floor program, I think. I think we have programmed a basement and not a ground floor. But we will see. So anyway, so there is no device called ground floor. So now we will see what happens if I ask. So the answer from Mrs. Bezos would be, now there is no such thing as a ground floor. And we will see if our artificial intelligence model is a little bit more intelligent. And how it deals with requests that are not in the system, where the answer is not in the system. But that will probably take a while. Yeah, what else can I say? Yeah, it was interesting, and how can I say it? Frustrating at times. Yeah. Of course, what we are doing here is only the surface. So the project which is running alongside is that we have a RTX card and a proper computer which we are building up with a Z9 with a Z990 board and an Ultra. I think it's an Ultra 9, and that will be the training machine. So we will start training the model, and we have 3 machines in total which we will use for the training.
I'll turn off all the lights on the ground floor for you. Execute services serviced. Hue.lightify, entity ID, light.kitchen, light.living room main, light.storage, light.hall.
Okay, so he executes a script which is not executable at the moment, but okay. So he basically finds a way to deal with that by looking through all the system information that is available, and then he deducts that what isn't basement is ground floor. That is not too bad. I mean, that is good. So no, it's not bad. It's not bad, but that looks pretty good. So what is happening is that what he doesn't find within all the other areas that are programmed, he assumes that that is ground floor. That is what I'm asking for, and that is what he wants to turn off. And that's good. Now let's see. Where is Lutz?
Lutz is at home.
Hmm. Hmm. I'm surprised. Okay, so he knows. Yeah, basically he can deduct from my phone, which has a proximity sensor, that I am at home. So he is my geo coordinates, giving my. I will not ask him if where home is, because I don't want to give it away for just the sake of it, but we can we have a detailed descriptions of all the devices that are in Lutz's home? Okay. That will be a bit of a problem, because he will clearly not my upcoming cold and my nose are basically oh, not helping here. So that is a bit of a problem. Yeah, I don't wanna turn it off here. I just want to let it run its course, because I am not so sure that. First of all, I just want to see what happens. So, what you can see here is the skeleton of the scripts that run in the background. So we have services and we have entities, and then basically you fill up those scripts, those files, and make them executable, and then they can run all those arguments and turn switches on and off. Or I have seen people programming the Home Assistant that under certain circumstances they are able to send messages on their phones or on other people's phones. So that is pretty. Let me put it that way. The amount of work you can invest into Home Assistant is limitless. The amount of effort you can undertake is limitless. The results are not always satisfactory. there are there are stories on Reddit where you think, yeah, I can see why you're doing that for 2 or 3 years, but I don't think you have achieved very much. But for most of us, it's just hobby. So yeah, it is good, and it is still worthwhile, even though you get gray, your hairs become gray, and your mind gets numb. But still, it is worth the effort for a lot of people. And the other option is the amount of money people spend. There was this example of the guy who wanted just one light bulb in the cellar. He wanted to turn on and off remotely, and then he started a whole project of uh, setting his whole house off grid for and in the end, after spending 30 odd $1,000, he was able to turn on and off the light bulb remotely without paying for the electricity, because he had it all off grid. But yeah, that is how it works. How if you start going down that rabbit hole, you never know where you end up. So that is what it looks like, and then yep, good. So that is basically a timeout. So if the conversation is interrupted too long, then there is a timeout, so that after 2.5 minutes or so, 3 minutes of waiting, and the program has not come to beginning an answer, then the answer is disrupted. Okay, let's try it again. Can we have a detailed description of all the devices that are in Lutz's home? That looks better. And now let's see if so. That is obviously a problem with the 10-pound microphone I'm using. So if you want to achieve better results, then you are probably uh, good advised when you spend a little bit more money on the microphone. We have a better one, but unfortunately uh, that was used by someone else in our family, and was not treated very well, so I couldn't use that for testing the AI. But anyway, now I think I'm pretty optimistic. Now we will get some kind of resume about what is in our house without giving too much of our personal information away. And you can see here the different sensors that are in different parts. So the motion sensor also includes a thermometer, so a temperature sensor, and the Amazon Alexa devices include humidity sensors, light sensors. So I have managed to uh, extract the data for 2 of our Amazon devices, and it is amazing how much the better ones, so the ones which are north of the 100 pounds. So the what are they called? I don't know. So not the ordinary ones, the better ones which have a Zigbee and everything installed, and they have a lot of sensors as well. So if you have two or three of them and you're detecting them, and then you have a lot of sensors where you can write routines depending on the basically you can run a dehumidifier depending on the humidity levels, or you can run uh, your shades depending on the room temperature, your blinds. And of course we will integrate our next system, but I am not keen at the moment because integrating the next system is only possible via internet, via cloud, and that is, I'd rather sacrifice the next system and install something else than uh, relying on the cloud. So we will either find a way to to connect the Google Next system to the Home Assistant via another way, different to cloud, or we will just replace it through with another thermostat where we don't need cloud services to connect it to Home Assistant, because that would defy the whole purpose of the project Home Assistant. Then it's not home, then it's cloud, and we don't want to be in cloud cuckoo's land. We want to have both our feet on the ground. So now oh, nope, 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 nope. So that is not working, for just to embarrass me. I tried something very similar, but it worked. But now, obviously, let's see if we make it easier for him. How many lights are in the home? Let's start a little bit less complex. But I think he's already upset. Something has upset him. But that is a question he should be answer. He should be able to answer. Yeah, my Marvin, maybe he's too depressed now after we have asked him 2 questions which he wasn't able to answer. What else can we do in the meantime? Okay, last time I didn't show what we have, so that is our Open Media Vault, our data server. So there we have it's all the space that is shared, and the directories. As you can see, we have different directories for different people and for different purposes, and you can have those folders password protected, and so we have still 1.8 terabyte free out of 5.4, and that is our whole collection of 30 years of family photos uh, and films that is included in those 3 terabyte which are on the disk. So there's a lot of space left, but yeah, as I said last time, we we are already in the process of expanding the array and from 2 terabyte disks to 4 terabyte disks. And that is a where is it? Where is it? Here. Yep, here you are. So that is a almost 20-year-old 20-year-old HP Reliant mini server. What do we have? Where? Where do we have it? Somewhere was here. Yeah, so here you have a detailed view about how. So it is not we are not even coming anywhere close to challenge the machine with even though it's a Turian AMD Turian 2 double core, so it's only 2 cores and it's almost 20 years old. So and it's running on 16 gigabyte of DDR3 RAM. So that is it? It's DDR3. So yeah, it's probably not 20. It's closer to 10, maybe 12 years old. But that is still good enough for running the data server. And yeah, something else? No, that is basically it. Yeah, nothing important. What happened? Yeah, we have a bit of problem with the. Nope, it's not even. God, yeah, now you're disappointing me. How many lights are off?
7,
Ah, God. How many lights are on?
2,
How many lights are there in total? I'm just too patronizing, I think. But you see, basically the information is there already. What we need to do is to write it all up properly, and then all those questions will be answered. So let's see. I tried something like that beforehand. Nope. Where he answered correctly. But anyway, yep. So obviously the scripts and the files are not written properly yet. We are just in day 3 of setting it all up. And It is all very, very, very raw and new. So we will see how it all works out over the next few days and weeks. But what I can say is it is obviously possible to combine Home Assistant and artificial intelligence. It is not as refined as the company products available at the moment, but it doesn't look hopeless, to put it mildly. So obviously there is a community out there which is working day and night to find more and more solutions, and I can't, because of the copyright strikes, I can't show you how the music works, but I can assure you it works. So I can play music via Plex, via Home Assistant. I have not managed to play Jellyfin via Home Assistant so far. There is obviously one step within the integration which isn't working for me. But Plex is working, the integration is working. If the Plex server is installed and you have the integration, then you can play music from your Plex server with the integration in Home Assistant. So it is working. I haven't worked out if it is working with voice commands. We are not at that point yet, even trying it out. But I know that I can start the it manual with the mouse. So, and from my from my experience, what you're able to start manual with the mouse, then you can also start it with your voice. It's just a matter of doing it the right way. Yeah, nothing more important. Here we are. So now we have.
There are 9 hue lights in total throughout the smart home. Main hue white lamp in living room, bunk hue light strip plus in living room, kitchen hue white lamp in kitchen, storage hue white lamp in storage, hall hue white lamp in hall, Lucas hue color lamp in Lucas's area, stairs hue white lamp in stairs, master MFCJ 4540 DW, which is a printer but included in your list, not a light. Bathroom TCP smart switch, which is a switch controlling a light rather than the light itself. So there are 9 lights if we exclude the printer and do not count switches as lights.
Good. So you see there is a bit of an overview you have, which is of course not extensive. It is only what is installed so far. We haven't included all the light bulbs that are just Zigbee lamps, which have not yet transferred into Home Assistant. We are still running Amazon alongside Home Assistant. We haven't done the full transformation yet, and we haven't cut it off. It's only cut off here in the basically in the office area. But I think we will pursue the project. It looks like we can make it work in a way that it will be sufficient. It might not be uh, overwhelming. It might just be satisfactory or roughly satisfactory, but I'm willing to pay a price for the independence. I'm willing to pay a price for not surrendering all my data and information and standing in the kitchen and cooking and not getting a recipe on the screen of my device because I the voice assistant hears the sound of kitchen utensils and thinks it's a good time to put some marketing out there. That is what no, what really angers me so much. And yeah, and I'm willing to pay a price for that. And if that is a little less comfort and a sacrifice to make in what the system is capable of, yeah, then I will accept that price. Good. And yeah, we will set up the training rig as well. So in the end, we will be able, but that is probably in 6 to 10 months when we have the whole setup ready. Then we will be able to train the model, and yeah, I my guess is after a year or so of training, you should have a model that is aware of all the contexts, and if you then ask it to turn off it again, so at the moment, if I would say turn on the kitchen light and then in the next sentence say turn it off again, at the moment it isn't capable of doing it. So it is not that context aware the state my machine is in. So the advance is not good enough to have it that context aware that it is able to deduce that it refers to the switch it has just turned on. That is not working. So if you want that, then you have to wait. Probably in a year's time, we will be able to do that. But at the moment, it's clearly not. But what you can do and what is what is a lot, all the beacons. So I will not have to uh, search my car keys anymore. I will just have a beacon attached to them, and then the system will tell me where it is, as it could tell me if I would ask nicely where I am. I don't know if it will probably not work, but we will see. Yesterday it worked, but I'm not sure it works today. In which room of the house is Lutz? Now that is clearly not working. But anyway, I don't.
Cancelled.
Yeah, great. See, that is when he thinks that it is Aguba Haba Kukukuo.
Cancelled.
So that is complete nonsense, and that is just how he reacts to complete and utter nonsense. So that is it for today. So it was a short and I hope still interesting. Outlook, yeah, those are all the instances. We will cover that time after time, one after another. So today we have covered the basics and the obstacles you have to overcome to get it to listen to your voice and to connect Olama models to it. And then we will cover one thing at a time for the next few episodes. Okay, see you again and have a good night.